He mokopuna ahau no Ngāti Haua ni Ngāti Koro ki Kahikura.
Kia ora, Dijon coming forward here, long time kaimahi in the rangatahi space in Waikato, and performer and dancer for 25 years here and abroad, here to tautoko.
Ko mātou mahi e kaimahi mātou ki Seed Waikato. Me e toru ngā mea ki o mātou whakapuno. E toru ngā mea nunui. I te tuatahi ko whakapanangatanga te mea nui. I te tuarua ko manaakitanga. Ko tēnei te tino whakapuno ki a mātou. I kaore e tēnei pira e whakamana nā rangatahi tai ao me tai ohi hoki. He tino pauri ki te kitea te whakaiti o te mana o te tiriti o Waitangi. Kore kau ngā manaakitanga ki ngā mana whenua. Me I te tuatoru ko tahitanga. Ko tira te mea nui ki a mātou me o mātou motu ko Aotearoa. He mahana nā tangata tiriti I haere mai ki konei kei Aotearoa. Kore kau ngā ako oranga o te tiriti o Waitangi I te haerenga o ngā tangata tiriti ki konei. Koenei he mahi tūtiri ki o mātou mahi I te tuatahi te tiriti o Waitangi. Nō reira, ke konei mātou ki te kōrero mo te whakamana o tēnei pira o te tiriti o Waitangi. Ko o mātou whakatauki, ko poipoia te kakano kia puawai, I kaore tēnei pira I poipoia ngā kakano, ngā rangatahi, ngā tai, te tai ao. Kia ora. Over 2 times.
Kia ora. Tēnā tātou katoa. My voorouders is van Suid-Afrika in die Nederlands. Die berg of Maunga wat met my hart praat is die Drakensberg. Die rivier of Awa wat my bekommernisse verlig is die Angani. Ek is in Durban groot geword, ek woon nou in Kirikiriroa. Maar my tūranga waiwai is Whaingaroa. Ko Tanya Poynton toko ingoa, ko au kai whakahaere o Seed Waikato. As leader of Seed Waikato, we take our submission as read, but we'd like to share a few extra things with you today. Today, I stand here as Tanga Te Tiriti, and I'd like to share my personal story. Like almost 1.5 million others, I've had the privilege of making Aotearoa my home, and Te Tiriti or Waitangi has given me this opportunity. Instead of wasting time, energy and money on this narrow-minded bill, instead we should be investing it in fit-for-purpose Te Tiriti training for every single person settling in Aotearoa. Ironically, this treaty principle bill has shone a light on a glaringly obvious gap. It's only been in the last 18 months, with the Crown's blatant attack on Māori rights, that I've come to the realisation that I could have been a better treaty partner 25 years ago. I had absolutely no idea of the context and even what the treaty meant. It should be a minimum standard that every person coming to live in this incredible country understands the full context and what has happened over the past 185 years. We have 30% of our population that may not even understand that they are treaty partners too under the Crown. I urge the Select Committee to recommend we create a system where every person settling here has the right and proper access to treaty training, meeting them where they're at. It should be a minimum standard. Now is the time to show future generations that we stand by our word and honour the true intention of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, because there's space for all of us. Anything less is a failure of leadership. We now have a little enactment in true rangatahi fashion. We'd like to make special mihi and acknowledgement to e tangata for their content and giving us the creative inspiration to share this small piece. Let's see if you can see the analogy. Imagine if you were someone living in a house that you inherited. You were living in a way that worked for you. But then someone came along and asked if they could be your flatmate. You thought the arrangement could be cool for both of you and your flatty, so you make a flatmates agreement. But when your flatmate moves in, they start to move all your stuff out to make space for their things. They start making house rules without your input or considering your previous routines. They even begin to denigrate you so badly that you begin to lose confidence in yourself and lose your self-esteem. What's more, your flatmate tells everyone else how amazing they are to you and how they've made your flat look so much better. It gets even crazier when you share your side of the story and your flatmate finds this very difficult to hear. They're genuinely surprised when you describe the inequality of the relationship. How can we even begin to think this relationship is equal and that it's built on any worthy foundation? It's time to level things up and honour Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Thank you.
Hikoi in the streets, you can hear the haka roar. Rangatahi rising, we ain't silent anymore. No more bad deals, no more settler spin. Take that bull and throw it in the bin. Word.
Thank you.
Kia ora. I don't think we've had a drama submission before, so thank you for that first. Possibly in the whole of New Zealand Parliament, but very, very nice, very well portrayed. Thank you very much. We've just got a minute or two for questions, or a minute if anyone has one. Steve?
Yeah, that was fantastic. More of that. And the last bit you spoke about actually in your waiata is about the rising of young people in defence of te tiriti, both tangata whenua and tangata tiriti. And does that give you heart that despite this, gross attempt at erasure, that there's going to be an ongoing movement that will see te tiriti fulfilled?
Tika, I think it's going to be an ongoing hiding up, but I think from a lot of the kōrero that we've been a part of in the community, we know that there are some things on the rise. It's been also really awesome to hear and see the mahi of Te Pāti Māori with Hana Rāwhiti and the Mokopuna generation coming through as well. And so just seeing the Kura Kaupapa generation is super inspirational and inspiring. Seeing them live their reo and haka and kind of reclaim and revitalise our reo is really powerful.
Thank you. We've got the question from Takata.
Kia ora koutou. Hey, awesome approach. And your point that you make that the glaring, the elephant in the country is that not enough people know or understand anything about. So your point, thank you for making the point again. I think it's a point that the committee now cannot ignore as we move towards making the report and its recommendations. So no part, just saying thank you very much for your time and awesome. Keep going with the educational work out there. Tell all your mates, do more skits like that, and kia kaha tātou.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Thank you for that. That's pretty much the time now, so thank you very much for a refreshing submission. Ka kite.
What an interesting way to illustrate things.
They certainly made a compelling point, though, and I really like that a big part of their kōrero talked about not just tangata whenua, but tangata tiriti, and how there's a strong sense of belonging to this nation across the board. And I really like that they really pitched about having fit for purpose te tiriti training, not just for those that are here, but for those that arrive, whether or not you sit as a tangata whenua or tangata tiriti. I think moving forward that is an investment for us to be better treaty partners, as if we're all better informed on both sides.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about Paul's comment here? I think invited to spend a month on the marae might be a better way to put it, but an interesting concept to some of them.
Yeah, look, sometimes I think you've got to just throw some ideas out there as a premise for starting, and I think the sentiment of what's being implied there is not a bad thing. Sometimes when in Rome, you have to do as the Romans, and there's nothing like being amongst people and learning and seeing and being. So yeah, I don't know that a month by policy would make it over the line, but I certainly think the sentiment of being more shared in our spaces and our philosophies and learning from one another is definitely a trajectory that we want to head towards.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take a quick little 1 minute break, and we'll see you back with back for hour 2.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, News Guide, the Order Paper Podcast. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram.